Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Life back with another YouTube video. And in today's video we're gonna be doing my first ever story time here on the channel. So yeah, let's get into it. So you probably clicked on the video because you saw the title of the video probably said something like um I haven't decided yet, but I think it probably said like um the time I met a murderer on Snapchat or something like that. Something to kind of catch your attention a little bit because that's what these videos are kind of about. They're kind of catching your attention. So yeah, you read that right. I made a murder on Snapchat. So let me explain. Firstly, I want to just say this is a quick disclaimer. Though the story time is not like super inappropriate or anything, it's not very family friendly, as well as again for like legal stuff and whatever. Like I was never involved with this person like that, and yeah. But anyways, yeah, let's get into it. So, this all starts. I'm about 16 years old. Yeah, I'm about 16 years old. I'm older than that, by the way. I've never revealed my age, but I'm older than that. But yeah, I'm about 16 years old, and this when I was 16, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. As many teenager boys were, yeah, I was addicted to Snapchat. I'm gonna be honest. I just loved snapping people and talking, with specifically with girls. I was like insanely obsessed with them, or not insanely. That sounds weird, but like I like talking to them and saying in new generational terms of rizzing them up. But I would like spit game, catch a 1-2 thing from it. You know the usual shit. Um, Hook up with a few girls, whatever. Do what I wanted, basically. So yeah, so I was 16 years old and I seen this girl. This girl added me on Snapchat, and I got like a shit ton of ads. Honestly, like I was getting added pretty much every day by different girls and different people. Some of these people I had no clue, and obviously that just added more fun, I guess. So whatever. So this girl adds me, and and her name is actually very similar to one of my aunties, or it's the exact same thing. So I was like, holy shit, that's crazy. I was like, how did my auntie ever find me? This is weird. Um, and just honestly, for the sake of the video, like I can't be just spewing out names, like their actual names. So I'm just gonna give them like some fake name. So let's call this girl Melissa. So her name is Melissa and my auntie's name is Melissa. So I add them, and I see that her snap score is like very low. It's like maybe a few hundred. It looks like it was just account. It was just created, or this person doesn't have a social life, or I don't know, but or doesn't use Snapchat like that. I don't know, but I'm just like I I specifically did this in a nice way in case it was my auntie. I just said, who is this? I just wrote that, and this girl is like, oh, you're not from my English class. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not from your English class, clearly. Unless I know you're in my school or something. And I'm like, what school do you go to? And then she tells me what school she goes to, and I tell her what school I go to. And we don't know each other at all. It's weird. So I'm thinking, my teenage mind, 16-year-old me is like, holy shit, I hit a I hit a jackpot here. And I see when I was like, what do you look like? Typical Snapchat way. I was like, what do you look like? And she's like, she shows me what she looks like. I show her what I look like, and she's pretty. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought she was pretty. I was like, holy shit, I hit the gold mine here. So I'm like, okay, that's sick. Um, so then whatever, and then we get to talking, and we're just talking fine and the usual small talk, and I'm like, holy shit, man, I might get a fucking blowjob from this or some shit. Um, so yeah, I don't know if you're allowed to say that on YouTube, but I thought it was funny. But anyways, so I was like fucking crazy. I was like so happy. She was giving me instant response, but I thought it was very suspicious that her snap score was so low. That was just weird. But I was like, fuck, man. Honestly, a win is a win for me. I guess you could say, right? So I was like, whatever. So that happens, and I'm like, okay, cool. So then we're kind of talking more and more, and then I say to her, I'm like, oh, you know what's funny is I used to think this was my auntie. My auntie texting me, I was like, that's funny, cause you guys got the same name. And then she's like, oh, you're rude, blah, 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 whatever. Because originally I said I thought you were my auntie, but I guess she took it the wrong way. But then I was like, oh, your name is Melissa, and then her name is Melissa. So I was thinking maybe they're both named Melissa. Or, sorry, I was thinking that this was my auntie maybe finding my Snapchat account or something. And then she was like, oh, Melissa's not my real name. And I'm like, what? I'm like, that's crazy. I was like, okay. Well, why is your name something else than a regular, like, than it usually is? And I was like, very suspicious. And she's like, and I'm like you're on the run from the police as a joke. And she's like, yeah. How did you know? And I'm like, are you joking with me? And she's like, no. I'm like, okay, and I'm like, why would you tell me that and whatever? Like, I'm 16 years old. I got a little snap from reality, and she's like, oh, to be honest with you, I don't give a shit. So I'm like, okay, and then I was like, since we're on this topic of confession, what exactly did you do? And then she briefly explained to me. I don't know if I can really explain on YouTube, but long story short, she's like something about she got into a severe problem with this girl and ended up ending her. So I was like, holy shit, that's insane. So at first I'm like, is this a joke? Is this a joke? And she's like, nope. You see my snap score? That's why. And I'm like, this gotta be a fucking joke. This is Snapchat. What's going on? And then within 2 seconds, this girl is sending me, literally sending me a video of her doing that. And I'm like, holy fuck, that's mad. And I'm 16 years old at the time, and I'm just like, that's fucking crazy. So then I'm like, holy shit. So I kind of like, I'm like, I got two choices here. I either unad her ass and forget this ever happened, or two, I kind of report her to the police and they kind of deal with this. So I was like, let me explain how I'm thinking how to explain how I'm gonna catch this girl and report it to the police and all this shit. So at this time, I didn't know where she lived, where she's from. I knew she was from a similar city to my to to me because of the school she told me, and just the way we were talking and stuff because of like where I'm from. There's a certain accent and certain things we say, so I automatically knew she was from somewhere in my like somewhere in the region of where I was from. So it was like, fuck. Let me deal with this real quick. So I was like, I tried to get it out of her. I was like, oh yo, we should like meet up or something, and we should definitely we could chill because at this time this is probably a week after I initially met her, and we talked a lot and we learned each other's interests and stuff. So she liked a lot of Playboy Cardi. So I was like, yo, we should kick back and listen to some Cardi and do whatever and whatever. And she's like, oh, okay, okay. So I was like, how serious is the murder charge and everything like that? And she's like, oh, yeah, the police are actively looking for her, but they can't find her, and it was almost like it was unsolved, if you know what I mean. Like the police had no idea it was her. So I was like, give me your ID. I'll come pull up on you. I'll take the bus and pull up on you, or I'll get my parents to drop me or whatever. And she's like, oh, okay, all right, that sounds like a plan. So then this girl ended up sliding me her address, and I searched up her address, and it actually looked real. I actually knew where this was. This was in like a similar city to mine. So honestly, just to make sure, I was like, I want to make sure this is this girl's house before I like call police or anything like that. So I phoned up one of my boys, one of my older heads, and this guy told me he's about 17 or 18 at the time. He was a few years older than me. He was pretty cool. Um, he went to the same school as me and whatever, and he had a car and everything. So I told him, I'm like, go, yo, can you do me a big favor? I think I caught some person doing some devious things. Um, could you swing by the house and just look and see who what kind of people is there and whatever, if there's a family living there? And he's like, or say no more. And I'm like, okay, okay, and I hang up the phone. So then he he drives there, he checks it out, and he still tells me he's like he sees a family there and whatever. So I'm like, holy shit. And then I'm like, what car do you see? And he's like, oh, Jeep Wrangler. I'm like, okay, cool. So then I message her outside. I message her. I'm like, yo, what kind of car do you guys have and stuff like that? And she's like, Jeep Wrangler. And I'm like, holy shit. That's when I knew. That's where she lived. So then I was like, this is action. So I'm like, I called up the police, and I'm like, yeah, this girl, I have videos of it, whatever. She had killed somebody. It was going unsolved in my city at the time. Um, yeah, I figured out who did it. She admitted everything, video proof, everything. And at least to be known, this girl was gone. Her Snapchat account deleted, everything was deleted. And a news article actually came out in my city talking about that she was arrested for this whole problem, and I'm like, holy shit. And then I would think that that was the last of her, but honestly, it even gets even more crazy eventually down the line. So yeah, this is probably gonna get a part two, but that's in conclusion for now. But anyways, that's pretty much it though. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys.